Good morning, everybody. Welcome to 1 Million Cups Fayetteville. So glad to have everybody today. I hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. We have a great speaker today. We have Nina Anvar with GuestChat that's going to come and tell us a little bit about his business. So let us welcome Nina. Nina, it's all yours.
Wow, thanks. Really appreciate it. Okay, let me share my screen and get going. Can you guys see the screen? Yeah, okay, great. Yep, my name is Nima Anvar and I'm a hotelier living on the island of Grenada in the Caribbean. We own 2 hotels here, each with about 50 rooms. One is a beachfront resort and the other is a budget hotel. I've lived here for 23 years and I'm actually talking to you right now from one of those hotels. We recently moved over into the hotel technology space, which is why I'm here today. We develop customized hotel chatbots that engage website visitors and encourage them to book directly instead of going back to what I'll show you shortly. So back in 2019, $42,000 of commissions is what we paid to Expedia, Booking.com, and the rest, or what we call the OTAs, or online travel agents. And for us, this figure represents 20% of the total booking value that they send our way. Others pay as high as even 30% commissions. And you can imagine how this is a problem, not just for us, but for hotels around the world. It's a love-hate kind of relationship. We love the fact that they're bringing in the volume, but hate the fact that we're paying such high percentages. And mind you, remember what we used to pay travel agents and still do is a 10% commission, where we feel that's a little bit more reasonable. But anyway, putting that aside, the point is we figure, how are we going to stop this thing? And if you look at the booking process, you know certain things that we all do. We all start out on Google, do the research, eventually show up at Expedia or Booking.com. And then the research shows that we go to an average of 38 different sites before we actually decide where we're going to book. So we visit hotel websites, we go to review sites like TripAdvisor. But the irony of it is that the majority of us go right back to Expedia or Booking.com to make that final booking. And so what I learned was that there are tons of people visiting actual hotel websites. And if we could do something to keep them on our site, then we're just increasing our revenue possibilities. So I started thinking, what can I do? And what I did was I decided to install a live chat widget on our site, on one of our hotel sites, where I could monitor exactly what's going on. And sure enough, it was like connecting a spigot to a water line. People were visiting the site, asking all sorts of questions, especially rates and availability. And I would have never known it had it not been for this chat capability. The problem was that I couldn't handle all the chats by myself. And my staff sometimes were either too busy or couldn't answer quickly enough, or even sometimes thoroughly enough to be able to get the visitor engaged. And the visitor would just leave. So it was like I discovered this wonderful gold mine of a new sales channel that had been there all along, but never tapped into. And now I had to figure out a way how to handle these chats. And so came up with this concept of GuestChat. And you guys have been, I'm sure, exposed to different chatbots, but in the hotel realm, you should think of it as a hotel receptionist that's always there, ready on your website to answer questions, offer rates, make reservations even. And it can be easily added to any website, this little widget. It's just 2 lines of code. And what it did for us is save us a significant amount of time answering questions. And we got more bookings because we were always online available. The bot gave instant responses, could handle 25 chats at the same time, offer rates, and even hand off to live agents so that they could take over. And it increased our sales significantly enough that it was worth a look. And here's how it looks on that very website I'll tell you about. There's the little chat widget. It can pop up automatically, or you can click it. Like I said, it's just 2 lines of code. It says I'm your virtual assistant. I can help with rates and availability. How can I help? And just go put in your rates. And I'm choosing a particular date. This is my mother-in-law's birthday. and 2 adults, 0 kids, put it up, and there you go. Gives you an idea of the different room types we have, tells you the occupancy, all the different amenities that are there, and gives you the price. You click, and you're ready to book. Just put in your name, all your details, credit card information, and you're good to go. And so here are actual numbers of what we got January through March of 2021, which was for us relatively slow. In our little budget property, you can see we got about 2,750 visitors. Of those, 10% of them interacted with the bot. Of those, half asked for rates, and 9 booked with an average booking value of $425, meaning they stayed for about 5 nights, $75 a night, and we made money that would not have been made, especially during that time. So if you break that down to a monthly basis, that's $1,275 extra we made on a price that we would have charged for this little widget of $100 a month, which is a 12-to-1 return on investment. We think we can do this for other hotels as well. In fact, we hope to do it for many hotels. And if we can get an annual subscription of a monthly fee of $100, we think with 850 hotels, we got ourselves a nice little business. And just to give you an idea of where we're headed, we're focusing on the independent hotels in North America. This is the 3-star and 4-star economy class and upscale properties with an average daily rate of about $150 and above. And there are others who are actually well ahead of us by about 3 to 5 years. Our friends in Ask Suite in Brazil have 1,400 hotels as subscribers. They're focused more on South America, but they've headed over to the United States recently. Our friends at Quick Text have over 2,000 hotels, and they're headed, they dominate the European market and are headed over to Asia. And we have just started out, and we're looking to focus on North America. Our key differentiator, as you can imagine, is that we're hoteliers and we bring that practical experience to the table. And what we need from you is just one thing. We need hotel contacts in the United States to try to use our product and give us feedback. And that, in a nutshell, is who we are.
So I have a question for you. When you hopped up your website and you showed us the little icon in the bottom right corner, if I'm new to and never seen your product before, which before today I have not, how do you know what that is?
How would you know? There's a couple of things. So we have different attention getters. So I can show it to you on a website, on a live website. The thing will pop up and it'll say, "Hi, I'm your virtual assistant. If you have any questions," boom. Also, you can have it on auto pop-up. So it has to do with the level of, should I say, intrusion or engagement that the hotel wants. So yeah, it has all those features.
So one of the things that happens, we know a lot of websites now have a virtual assistant. We know that. And so that's what I would kind of assume it is when I'm sitting down there. But yours does more than just answer a generic question that I would have. And I like that you can actually go straight and do your booking, find out your rates and all that good stuff. Is there a way that you're letting people know that that virtual assistant will do more than just that without me having to click on it to see? Do you have tell me that?
Yeah, just that little bubble. And I can always pull that up for you just so you can see it if you like. So that, yeah, let me just see while we're talking. A website that just has exactly that. So you just pull that up.
I think it's important to note that your virtual bot will do a lot more than what most of them will do.
It's a great point. Let me just share this with you. So here's a site that we have. So we have this: "Hi, I'm your virtual assistant. How can I help now?" This is what they wanted. And you know, the majority of people are gonna just exit that out. However, What we can do more than that is we can rotate these messages, meaning as long as they don't exit this, we can say, and we can do this, we can do that, we can offer rates. Are you interested in our specials and stuff like that? So that option is there, what we call the attention grabber. According to the hotel, we have settings so that we can tell this thing to pop up in 9 seconds. We can tell it to pop up once they've visited 2 pages. We can tell it to pop up under any conditions. And then the other things are, you can get things like specials. So they can see exactly what those specials are and click on them, and it'll take the viewer to the actual specials page where they get to see the specials from the property.
And I really like that you have those buttons there, because again, I could go straight to what I want and not have to hunt for what I'm looking for, which drives most people crazy on a website. And when you're doing that, so you're saying is that when that little pop-up message comes up on their page, that the hotel gets to select what they want it to say?
Yeah, the hotel gets to control the content in there. And what we're trying to do, the whole idea is engagement. So the way I figure it is, if we can get more engagement by getting their attention with new messages, so that let's say they didn't notice that little bubble there, but as it flips and it goes, have you seen our specials? Have you stayed with us before? As long as they don't exit that bubble, it's engaging them. And let's say they do exit it. According to what the hotel wants, we can have the thing pop up completely and get their attention again.
So do you sell that to them outright, or I assume it's more of a monthly service that you provide?
It's a monthly service, yeah.
So I'm just curious. So you mentioned Expedia, you didn't mention Vervo, but usually when people are looking on those sites, they're touted as, the last rooms available. So that usually you can book with them for a cheaper price. Do you think, how are you going to compete? How will GuestChat compete with that mindset?
I love that. So there's a couple things, but I'll give you the easiest answer. And the easiest answer is, in my opinion, if we have enough of these sort of questions, hey, you'll get the lowest rates, the most flexible cancellation terms, no hidden fees, da 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 da. Whatever that hotel can do in this realm and other areas like specials and other things that we have coming is going to give the advantage to the hotel, right? So as to stop them from bouncing and heading over to Expedia. But then there's the other thing too. It's not necessarily the case that Expedia has the lowest rates. It's sometimes the case, but not always. And so that's where the hotel needs to seize that opportunity. And there's other opportunities too. For example, a hotel will make a special offer simply for those people who sign up for its whatever newsletter, loyalty points, and whatever. And the moment that you do, you get an immediate discount on your first stay or repeating stays. So the idea here is that step I showed you right before they go back to Expedia, they're thinking, okay, so by the way, this is just the first step of this. Imagine if I can give them more reasons than what you've seen here to stay. Just imagine the following. Okay, this bot just popped up over here and it said blah, 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 blah. Imagine if something right before they leave pops up over here and goes, here's the rates on Expedia, here's the rates on booking.com, and here's our rates. You don't need to go anywhere anymore, right? And so those are the kind of what we call conversion tools that we're working on in addition to the chatbot. We think it'll empower the property to keep at least a good portion of those guests.
I have a comment. This summer, I booked through Expedia, and I booked a room facing the ocean. Oh, yeah, the ocean. And when I got there, I didn't get that room. And you know what they told me? Go talk to your third party.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is great because if you can get to the hotel and you have a problem with the rooms or something, then the hotel has to be accountable.
That's right. And no, they care. The hotel is going to take you not more seriously, but they're going to take you as a guest that they got directly. And so they're going to have to attend to your needs. Whereas whenever you make a booking through a third party, you're going to have, as a matter of policy, to go back to them. So hotel can just shrug its shoulders and do nothing.
And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Then on another, I did I went to I thought was the hotel site, and I booked a room, and when I came back, I had this enormous fee. I don't know, it was crazy. And then so I tried to, I'm thinking I'm on the hotel site.
Oh, yeah.
So when I tried to cancel it, I was like, I don't want to pay that extra fee. I tried to cancel. I was literally on the phone for about 2 hours before I actually got the fee, because I thought it was the hotel, and the hotel was like, no, we didn't do that. And then so it was a mess. So this is great. I think this is a good.
Thank you so much. And do you mind, before, let me just show you a couple of things that address that exact thing. So look at this. Let's try this. Is this the official hotel site? Let's see what it says. And I'm going to show you the other thing that it can do. Let's see what it says. This is the official. And about the what if I want a special view? Now, I'm doing this all off the cuff. So now it tells you the following. Our garden suites have this. All our other suites have views of the Caribbean Sea. To request a specific view now, and by the way, of course, you can click on these and check out the views, but now you can say, I am doing this, I'm looking for this view, and you can submit it, right? So that gives you, it works two ways. On your end, you're getting exactly what you want because you're telling them what you want. And on the hotel's end, they love that, because now they're getting you specifically, and now they're catering specifically to your needs. It's very different than if you're dealing with a third party.
So thank you.
Let me jump in and ask a couple of things. Interesting presentation. So the hotel, I guess, when they control where the bubble goes.
Yep.
Okay, so they can make it bigger, larger, smaller. They put it anywhere they want on their website.
Yeah.
Homepage. Who controls the content? Do you write that, or does the hotel write that?
We write it initially, but automate it, and then we show them. So if they want to do anything to it, they can do anything. They can add photos, take away photos. They can mess it up all they want.
Okay. What are some of the, in percentages, what are some of the large amount of questions that people are asking when they go to the bubble? Like the top 3 questions that you're seeing that people ask.
It's rates. It's 50% is all about rates and availability. That's all it is. The rest of it is, in fact, let me see if I can show you guys so you can kind of have an idea.
Would that be about views and locations, or
yeah, well, let me show you. So here's the back end, and let me give you, first of all, here's the back end, right? This is Siesta. This is our little property. And this, by the way, is we're closed right now because of a lockdown, but there are other properties who are not, and there's plenty of them, right? And so just to give you an idea, once you get into the actual chats, you can see what they're asking for. Photos, room view,
okay.
They're asking for rates. Again, they want live chat, I want to talk to somebody, all sorts of different things, facilities, want to know all that sort of thing. And then here's all those questions, blah, 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 blah. Everything you can imagine is there. And so then it matters just for you to be able to go in as a property and fill this in. We do it in advance, and we do it automated so that it's less stress on everybody. However, and by the way, they don't see any of this stuff. And then you can put in links, photos, related. These are those related buttons, Cindy, that you were able to push. So they
Yeah.
can change all these. And so what it looks like on the front end is something like that. So you have these, and then those are the different bubbles, and then you can put links also. Let me show you a location, for example. There it is. There's that link, and then it'll show you exactly where it is on Google Maps, and you get an idea. So yeah.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Yeah. Yeah. So I see you collect the data and then pretty much put the questions together, and then you interact with the hotel with those, and then they build or they add in the answers.
Yeah, we go through it. Basically what happens is we pull data from online and we populate a survey. And then we review that survey. It'll go quick. It's about a 20-minute review, just to have them make sure to fill in gaps that no data could ever, fill in, or I would never know. So then once they give us that, all of those questions get turned into sentences, if you know what I mean. All those answers get turned into sentences, and then we do a little onboarding with them where we show them, look, here are all the questions, here are all the answers, go through them. If you want to change them, this is how you do it, this is how you add a photo, and it's live.
Excellent. Yeah. Thanks.
Sure.
Mhm.
As part of your service or your monthly fee, do you provide the hotels with any analytics based on the people who have visited the site?
Yes. Did you see that funnel? Well, first of all, let me show you. So remember, we're relatively new, so it is, while we have analytics, we don't have it to the point of where, let's say it's as good as we want it. But let me show you for this property. Here are the metrics on this property from, and by the way, this was getting 10%, and I pulled it down purposely because we're integrating with that booking engine. So it'll tell you in the last month exactly how much has the integrations and what's happened there. And to give you some clarity, you've had a total of 119 chats, and out of those 119, 9 have gone to book, right? Now, we don't show it to them like this, Cindy. How we show it to them is that funnel that I showed you with the different colors. We send them a monthly email that shows them this many total came to your site. This is how many interacted. This is how many asked for rates, and this is how many booked. Now, how many booked is a little bit shaky, but that's what we share every month.
And that's great information to have. I'm glad you're providing it, but do you get any more detailed, like how many people want this service, or ask about that service, or ask if I have a spa on premises, the stuff that can help me as a hotel or a property to improve my services to my guests. I really do want the bookings and that information, but it would be nice to know also what they're asking.
Yes, we do not provide that yet. We have the data. We are so dead focused on trying to make the bookings and get them return on investment that that's just not what we've done for now. But I think down the road, that's exactly what we're going to do.
Because I would consider that return on my investment as well, if I can get information about what they're looking for, especially if they ask for something in that area, like, they're asking, everybody keeps asking about airport. Well, as a hotel, maybe I forgot to include how far the airport is, or how do you get from the airport? So I can go in and repair my site or add that to my features. So yeah. I think that's valuable information, and I get that you're new at this, but that would be something I would look at down the road, because it may give you a competitive advantage about other people who are creating something like this.
Yeah.
Give me more than just how many bookings I make.
It's true. Like, for example, if you give it for dates, imagine once the hotel sees a ton of people signing up from March 5th to March 13th, right? Something's going on, right? To have that heads up is a big advantage. So it hasn't escaped me. It's just that we haven't gotten there.
I'd also like to know, when you, since you mentioned that, how many that you had that requested dates that you were unable to fulfill, because that would say something to my hotel property as well.
Yeah, that's huge. And I hadn't thought about that. Thank you for that.
So I love this idea, by the way, Nima. I'm just curious because it seems like every website I go to today, I'm inundated with a chat bot.
Mhm.
So, I mean, do you have like statistics of how many people that actually visited the site and how many actually used your bot?
Yeah, that was that chart that I showed, right? This part, hold on.
The one that said that there was like 4,700 visitors, but
Yeah, yeah, that one.
120 chats.
No, like this is what, we don't have it like this beautiful, but hold on, let me show you. This is what we send out at the end of every month to the property, right? So we take that other stuff that you saw there in the metrics and we kind of dilute it so that it's not diluted, but clarify it so that it's clear for them exactly how it's breaking down. So yeah, we have those numbers, and those numbers change dramatically when that bot is told to stay down. So if you do nothing, meaning if you don't put an attention grabbing bubble, or you tell it don't pop up, just stay closed, the engagement rate is about 3%. No matter how much traffic is there. But if you pop up, the engagement jumps up to 10%. And that's,
is it your hope that your market is going to encompass the larger chain hotels, Marriott and so forth, or are you looking more for the smaller hotels?
well, I would say the independents, not necessarily
Okay.
smaller, but the independent hotels. Yeah, because I mean, I would love for us to be able to get a chance to present this to very, very large companies, Hyatt or anything, but they have a clear system already in place. They don't really have chatbots. I would love to get a chance to do that with them. However, in the meanwhile, there are plenty of independent properties who are large, and they would really benefit from this because it's just the same questions being repeated, and it would save people a lot of time and energy, but also increase their bookings. Any other questions or thoughts? You guys want, if you want, you guys can give me some feedback. So I don't know how, what the process is, but I did bring, just in case, I brought something that I could share because we're kind of having a little debate. We're doing a little rebranding, and wouldn't mind some feedback on our logo. So this has been our logo here, and we're considering changing it. So the question we have is, what do you guys think? Shall we change? Remember, we were going with Caribbean colors. So that's one thing. I mean, that's not my ask here. Obviously, our ask is to see if we can get some contacts in the hospitality market over by you guys. But if there are no other questions, I'd love to engage you guys with this.
I like the split colors in the where you have two tones in the name of it, because I think it ties it better to not only your symbol that you're using for your bot, but also it stands out more. When you have it as one solid color, like the middle one, it kind of just blends in.
Yeah.
But I think the top and bottom actually makes it jump out more. And aren't you already using the bottom set of colors?
Yeah, we're using, this is our logo. The only thing that's different is this is a new font It's a little bit clearer. The other one, we're trying to give the professional look and feel. So yeah, this I just put in there because we, to be very honest, are stuck between this, and we're not certain, but I just thought I'd figure put this in just in case you guys preferred the whole thing. So 1, 2, or 3.
I vote 3. I like the bottom one the best. I just think I'm with the dean. I think it stands out more, and I prefer those colors.
Okay.
If you want, folks, if you don't want to jump in and speak, if you put your preference of 1, 2, or 3 in the chat so we can see it. And I have to agree with Lori, I like number 3. But in the meantime, Don wants to know, how long to onboard a property? Do you train the entire staff? Do you have a customer service department?
We don't train the entire staff. We usually train 1 or 2 people. It's pretty intuitive to start. It does not take very long. The onboarding process in its current state with our minimal automation is about 2 weeks. However, we think we can get that down significantly with the surveys.
Come on, folks, let's vote, please. Put in the chat if you like.
And Shireen is part of our customer service. Shireen is one of the jack of all the trades. She is our customer service person. She's the head of marketing. It's a bootstrap startup, so that's how it works.
So far, it's looking like our audience likes 3. We have got a number 1, and we have a comment that says they'd like to suggest that you make the little icon, your little logo, a little bit smaller, your little icon, because it kind of looks like a fishing bobber, according to Dawn.
So they think we should make it smaller.
Just the little
Here.
the little this.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Lori, what I was saying is like the whole yellow part, I'm thinking that's a hat on top of a chat icon, correct?
Yeah, kind of like a bell-ish sort of thing.
Okay, it's just when I look at it, the first thing that I see is a fishing bobber. And I think maybe if you just squish the hat down a little bit,
Push it down.
it would bring it a little more definition, and
Sure.
just my thought.
Sure. Appreciate it.
But I do like the light blue.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I've got some comments to make here while they're doing all this voting. Seems like everybody's going on number 3, and I find the colors clash. I'm sorry. That's my opinion.
Sure.
I think 1 is much more powerful, where 3 is rather passive. So I'm just going to add that thought. But the question and the reason I got on is I wanted to ask you, I've done a lot of traveling, particularly this year, and I think I've used 4 or 5 different online sites. They really seem to press towards loyalty. And I got to be honest with you, I know I'm adding up some points somewhere along the line, but I can't remember from whom. And I never see any response from them. What kind of loyalty program are you instilling? And how do you think it rates with the rest of them?
We don't. So there's all this set software. It's a whole other hotel tech field of loyalty and loyalty points. All we do is we point the guest to their loyalty program. So we don't have a loyalty. We answer the question. We send them to the links, but we don't have anything beyond that.
Well, then let me ask you this. Who do you consider your target audience?
My target audience is hotels that are over 50 rooms or more, with about an average daily rate of $150 a night, probably somewhere between 3 to 4 star independent hotels.
Okay, that's 1/2 of it. Who's your buyers?
My buyers are, boy, all sorts. It's probably people that one I can't tell you that I've done. It's wide. I don't have that information.
Well, are you doing mostly resort type hotels, or?
Definitely independent resorts are going to be, and more boutique hotels are going to be the target. Yeah.
So wouldn't you see that that would be middle to upper middle income buyers, along with middle-aged or upper, more towards senior? And the
I'd say
reason I'm asking that is that we get very comfortable, and I'll put myself in that class. I hate doing it, but we get very comfortable with dealing with one company. We're more of a loyal group than, say, millennials who will jump around and look for the best deals.
fair enough.
And I just think that what I'm looking for is somebody who's going to keep that loyalty intact. And
Mhm. It's a strong point. It's just something I never thought about. I saw it as something that is just one of many things. So I'll look in. Thank you.
When you're looking at your data, because I'm all about, as I mentioned before, about you collect your information, and then that's another service you provide, because I do think that will set you apart from people who can just create a bot.
Mhm.
But one of the things I think you should look at is how many days they book, because if you can show, for example, that through your bot that you will pick up people who stay longer periods of time than the average consumer, I think Ken's on the right track. You need to build some loyalty in not only with the customer, but the person that books the room, but you also need to build in some loyalty with your people who are subscribing to your service. So when you can add something to that, add some information that helps my property, you are going to get me to stay with your bot as opposed to the next bot that comes out that does something like what you have. So you've just always got to maintain why I should do GuestChat, not try another bot.
Yeah,
But it's interesting because I'm one of those users that I go to Expedia first to see what my options are, and then I leave them and I go to the independent sites to get, especially the airlines. I don't book with Expedia and all them anymore. I book straight with the airline because I find I have a much better experience. Kind of like Michelle was talking about with, the not getting the room that she asked for and that kind of thing. But it's interesting. I just use those other ones just for information gathering. But see, now if I know how easy it is to get information from your bot, as opposed to having to ask 50 million questions to find out and give you a credit card number before you'll give me this and the other, it's going to make me go more towards your site.
Yeah.
You just got to find those niches that you're going to have that nobody else has, and you need to exploit them.
So what you're saying is, because my dead focus has been on direct return on investment, and what you're saying is that's great, it's wonderful, but there are these added bonuses that are quite valuable and you're just not taking them into account.
And I get that it's probably something that will take some time for you to do, but you're in the early stages, so it's data collection is a little bit easier now that you're in the early stages. But the more information you can give to me as the property owner, especially since you're going after more independence, that means I don't have to hire somebody to come and do all this information gathering for me, a separate person. I'd rather pay you because you've got that information, a lot of it at your fingertips.
And something else is yes, there's Google Analytics and they'll tell you a lot of things, but they won't tell you exactly what the person said. Meaning this is the horse's mouth talking to you. Yeah, or did. Yeah. That's great. Thank you. Okay. Well, I got a lot. I'm going to have to download this chat just to see what everybody said.
We'll email it to you.
Thank you. Yep, that's about it on my end. Yeah, I'm really thankful for the opportunity. We would really love to get this video because we'll need to review it when it's ready.
Before Lori jumps in with her question, because I know she's getting ready to, where do you see this going? Do you see anything on the horizon about what you can add to this or how you can expand this, or,
Yeah, we're already there. We're already there. So let me tell you the steps that where we are that I love. So the bot is really good at that first level, but the next level is what we call conditional follow-ups, which is if something happens, then do this. We're telling the bot. If the user asks for the same dates twice, back to back, you're messing it up, bot. So you better give them a reason to book right now. Or if they searched a specific range and you know that range falls into something that you've set, show them this. Now, if you follow that conditional follow-ups, what we're working on next is that other part, which I was telling you guys about, which is what they call conversion tools. What we know as pop-ups, but these pop-ups are specific for each hotel. That means we're building something where a hotel can go into that same backend, create a little banner that says Valentine's specials, and anybody who's doing a search will see that. We're building something down the road where it'll show Expedia rate, Booking.com, and here's our rate. It'll show you, here's the reviews on TripAdvisor. You don't need to go because they're right here. You don't need to leave the site to go see all that. They're all there. You can see them. You can even click on them. It'll show you. So we're headed towards conversion tools. This is the first of the many conversion tools, really.
Speaking of conversion tools, do you have an option right now on your bot where if I put in for certain dates and I see your rates, they're a little probably not quite what I want to pay? Do you have an option where you will send me an email alert or a text or something if the rates go below that?
I don't, but that is a great idea. And I think it'll go with conditional follow-ups too, because essentially it says, hey, if this person didn't do anything, offer them the opportunity. Would you like us to? Yeah, it's a great idea. Thank God for video.
And I love the fact you said offer, because like Lori said, we get harassed by things. So if you're gonna, you know how you go to one site for 1 second by accident and you follow with ads from that site for 100 years, it feels like.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you're offering it to me, but you're not going to chase me necessarily.
Exactly. It's just
That just gets annoying.
Yeah. Thank you. Huge help.
And Nima, I will make sure that you get the video as well as the chat. You'll have access to both. Okay. Do we have any other questions? If not, I'm going to take the last question, Nima. How can we help? What can this community do for you?
So first of all, thank you so much, because you guys have done a lot just in your comments, and I'm very, very thankful for that. We're thankful. We actually go back and review video and try to take everything down. We are looking for potential contacts in the hospitality sector, hotels that might be interested to just try this out, see what the benefits are. We could do a demo, not very different from what you saw, so that we can bring some value to their website.
And I know Lori said she took the last question, but you just said something that I wanted to add comment to. You mentioned about, I think you're looking for a lot of the independents, you're looking mid-range, but also don't forget, you can be very helpful to some of the smaller properties that are a little bit more exclusive, or even more of a boutique type of a property that maybe I don't have the time and manpower to man something or to go manage this. You could help me a lot in the smaller properties, because now I've got something automated that will do a lot of what I don't have time to do, or I don't have the staff to do.
Yeah.
So please don't forget those smaller properties, because especially in nice resort areas where they're very desirable properties, but they may not be large for a reason, because they don't want to be a massive property, you know, at a resort location. They want that smaller, exclusive type environment.
Yep.
But you can be very helpful for them.
That's already proven to be true. It's true.
And I totally agree, Nima. Also, please don't overlook the smaller properties, but also maybe you could consider like a 30-day free trial for those smaller properties. You know, Amazon Prime, they give you a free trial and then you go on that subscription basis after that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you could
I-
show them what you could do, I think that would be advantageous too.
Yeah, listen, to give you an idea, Lori, we're giving a free trial through 2021 because hotels aren't doing so well and we're just starting out. So yeah, and then out of practice, because everything is so slow and all this pandemic stuff, once we get to 2022, if we get new properties, we're very flexible. I mean, if we're thinking actually about 3 months, and I'll tell you why. Because at 3 months, that bot is rock solid. It's worked out all the little things that are specific to that property. Like somebody asked, like we had a property and they asked about bonfires. And bonfires is pretty obscure as a thing, it didn't come in our radar, but it's specific to this property, right? So you give me about a month and I'm just working out all those little things. And so once 3 months comes, I mean, that thing is just firing off. Everything is working well.
Okay, with that said, you thought it was odd that somebody was asked about bonfires, but as a person who visits the beach areas quite often in the United States, that is not an unusual question. So you might want to have some of your folks to become members of resort area groups, like on Facebook or something, to see what the conversation's about, because people pop in all the time to the beach I go to. They have a Facebook group that they pop in and ask about the bonfires. Because of turtle nesting season, we can only do bonfires during certain times of the year. But see, there's a lot of little things you can find out, and it's going to help you to try to market to those hotels in that area, because you know what that area, what people like to do. So that gives you like a selling edge, because when you're going to try to recruit a new property in that area, you know what the people like to do.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Basically, when you're going to penetrate a market, go find out what those things are that are important to the users.
It's very common now that they have group pages like that, because they share like, okay, we've got a concert this weekend in the park or whatever. You find out lots of little pieces of information about what that community is like, and gives you that advantage when you go to sell to that hotel.
Thank you.
And Nima, we did overlook a question in the chat. So Don would like to know, who is your initial contact at the hotel, and how do you reach that person?
So the initial contact, it varies between the general manager or the marketing manager. Rarely, sometimes it'll be a reservations manager, but not usually. And we have that profile. These are people who are in their late 30s, mid 40s, sometimes 50s. It's rarely the hotel owner. And if it is the hotel owner, it eventually ends up with the general manager or marketing manager or both. And how we're targeting them is through email drip campaigns, cold calling, and frankly, our 1 Million Cups contacts. That we do presentations, we ask for contacts, and then we're able to get a foot in the door and make a demo.
Well, Nima, I really appreciate it. Fantastic presentation. We hope to have you come back in the future and let us know how GuestChat is doing. We'd love to keep in touch. Again, everybody, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for coming out, listening to Nima's presentation, supporting small business and entrepreneurship. You guys have a great day. Happy Wednesday. See you next week.
Thanks so much, guys. Talk to you soon.
We'll be in touch, Nima.
Thanks, Lori. Bye-bye. Thanks, Cindy.